George. I want to say welcome to Taaeen Talks, and it's an absolute pleasure to have you here today.
Hi, Jasmine. I'm really excited to be here today talking with you.
Me too. So to get started, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
So currently I'm heading the region for CIPD Middle East, heading the business development and client support part. CIPD is the Chartered Institute of Professional Development, and my team is working more with support organization, manage the channels, and making sure the client experience phase works well for the client.
Wow, it sounds like a huge responsibility, actually. Before we dig into a bit more about what you do, can you tell us a little bit about your journey and what brought you to that position?
Yeah, it's actually a really interesting one.
Great.
My background is actually in pharmacy and pharmaceutical science, but my career journey started when I was in high school. So first part was volunteering to support education for refugees with the UNHCR and the USAID, and at that time I discovered my passion for learning and supporting people to learn and really working in something that have impact on people's lives. So finished my pharmaceutical studies, but worked across with refugees and development programs with the USAID for the 5 years of my studies. After that, I just decided to go to pharmacy because that's what I studied. Really didn't like it. It wasn't for me. So I started to shift to more around education. My first employer was one of the biggest education institutions globally, and I started working in supporting universities to pick up the right syllabus, the right curriculum they're going to deliver, and how to integrate technology in it. So it was around integrating technology with learning, and that was really fantastic across the Middle East and Levant. And from there, my career started in the education. I then became more managing the qualification side of the business, so IGCSE, A-levels in international schools, but also English language assessment across. And that was quite an experience that changed my life because you see the impact on the students, you see them graduating and going places. And that's something I really loved. And to top it off, I managed Africa for 2 years, which was a great experience to see the impact on people's life in Africa and how they get the chance to experience things differently and how education can make their life better.
And what did you see? Sorry, I just have to interrupt. Like, what kind of impact did you see?
So you could see people from Africa, from underprivileged a rural area that studies their English through, at that time I was working with Cambridge University, study their English and get assessment and get opportunities to go to universities up in the UK, get to shift their whole life across and come back and actually keep delivering that impact to the community. I have seen a lot of graduation, have seen a lot of students that were going there and their graduation, their success stories. And that always brings tears to me. I've seen them through their journey. Worked in that field for around 14 years, 15 years. So I still have connection with students that really went through a qualification that was an international qualification that they wouldn't have access to it. But because of the work we're doing, we started opening places to deliver these. And that work, they really had the opportunity to grow in their work and to do a positive impact on their life, but also in the communities they're serving. And that brings me to CIPD. After doing all of that in education, I wanted to keep doing something that have impact on people's lives. And when CIPD came looking, I was like, what are they doing? I wasn't really into the HR. I have seen HR and what happens in it through the corporate life. But I was like, championing better work and working lives. That's really amazing. Actually, better work for better working lives. That's actually what I want to do. And that's why I really went for it when the opportunity came. That's the reason.
Wow, it sounds absolutely fascinating. Everything that you've said, especially, helping people. It sounds like you really, you love helping people, watching them be their best. And I can imagine how that feels as well, you have that feeling at the end. So talking about CIPD then, what is CIPD doing now to help organizations?
We are doing actually a lot with organizations, not just organizations, with governments and individuals. So part of the framework that we work with people is, first we define what good HR look like. So what are the standards that you should be working to get through it across behaviors, across core knowledge and specialist knowledge, so you become an HR professional. So we help organizations to build their competency framework and how good HR in this organization look like, because it's different for each organization. And we do that through our profession map, which is the international set standards for HR. That was not just created, as I tell people, not 3 experts sitting in a room and creating a bunch of standards. It was created with consultation of 20,000 people across the world, 20,000 HR professionals. So it's not just an academic standard, it's standards that are built from professionals. After that, we start assessing their teams. So we start to bring assessment either on an individual level or on teams level to assess their capabilities, how they are fit for future as an HR within the organization, and what is the business impact they are having. And from this assessment, which is based on the standards, we start building learning journeys for them to bridge the gaps. So we start building bespoke learning journeys for these organizations. Let's say they have a weakness in organizational design and development. We start to upskill their team and support them through coaching and mentoring until they are able to do it for their organization. So we don't go and do things for them. We don't go and create policies for them or processes. We support them to do it themselves. So we provide the learning.
I love that.
After that, we recognize the organization for their best practices and recognize the individuals for the learning and the professionalism that they have reached through our membership. So they become a member of CIPD or a chartered member of CIPD or a fellow, depending on the level and strategy. And then we continue working with the organization because it's an ever-changing world that we're in, and every day things are changing. So we continue to build these standards and we continue working with these organizations. Sometimes with governments, we work heavily with the UK government and with governments across Europe, and we're starting that here is we work them across in employment laws. And so we advocate for the people and advocate for the right to have a voice within the organization, the right to really grow, and the right to be treated right.
That's so important, isn't it? And I love what you said about having a voice.
Yeah.
That really resonates with me. So what are some common trends in the region?
So first of all, there's a common trend that is going globally, but it's really here we're seeing is AI. Within HR and AI within everything. What is the impact on HR? And there was a debate until last year, is AI going to stay or not? I think by this year, everyone knows that it's staying.
It's not going anywhere,
And it's transforming the region. And what we're trying to do is how to check what is ethical and what's not. So we're having working groups with companies like Google, Microsoft, and international AI providers around how we can ensure the ethical use of AI, how we can ensure the human integration with it, how we can make sure that we have seen some practices about AI, people just sending emails to each other and making the AI respond to it. And nobody knows what's happening. And then the project is not moving. So what are the right processes to have in place? What are the right policies? What is the change that we need in our organizations to integrate AI in it? So AI is a really hot topic that is...
Totally. How would you make it ethical? Like, how would you even begin to, that's so hard.
It's what is the ethical consideration? So how we can make sure that it's used in the right way, not in the wrong way. How we make sure about the privacy of our data. So when to use AI and how to use it and what kind of information you feed it. in
Right, okay.
how we get into upskilling our people so they can use AI so they don't become obsolete. Because as people say, AI is not going to take your job. An individual who knows how to use AI will take your job. So how not to leave people behind. And there's a lot of debate around the ethical use of it and the privacy of the information, the GDPR guidelines, and how to make it safe for everyone to use. And there's the other part of it is the accessibility. AI is not accessible for all the countries around it. And how are we going to manage this divide as we don't want to go back again when the internet started and there was people that didn't have internet and they had. So it can be a kind of discrimination because you're giving the tools to some people and some people not. So how are you going to take care of these people across the globe? So.
Do you know any of those answers? Because they just sound such big questions.
Knowing the answers, I think there's still the leaders of the industry are working around it. There's no definitive answer, and it's a continuous change because AI is growing much faster than we ever expected. And that's why the second trend here is around change and how to manage change.
Exactly. And what comes with that change? Because I think a lot of people who I've been talking to are scared.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, there is a lot of people that are afraid right now in the market, are scared from what are the repercussions of having AI and how people are going to use it. But I would like to take the positive side.
Yes,
it's actually improving productivity massively when people are using it right. And that's why there's a big debate on ethical use. I'll go back to ethical use. Like when it's used right, it could be one of the best friends for humanity. It's one of the best tools that humanity can get because it gets things fast, has an IQ right now as Elon Musk or Einstein, so it's actually working on that level. But it doesn't have the emotional intelligence.
No.
And that's what we need to focus our people to work with emotional intelligence, how they can interact with AI and put the emotional intelligence part in it and put the human part in it.
Do you think that's possible?
Yes. It's possible. And one of the things that are really is segregating the jobs right now in the market. Some jobs are going to be really very operational, does not have any human involvement in it and can be taken over by AI. Like jobs that were taken by machines. People are afraid, but we have gone through it with the industry, with the industrial revolution. We have gone through it with agriculture revolution. We used to hunt. Then from hunting and moving around, we went into agriculture and people stayed and started to build communities. That was a huge change. And then it came the industrial revolution where a lot of people at that time were replaced by machines, but we had numerous more jobs. And then there is the knowledge economy that we're in right now. But then there's the AI and what's beyond. So it's changed, but humans have adapted to change and we have grown the economy. We have grown and had different jobs. Now I think we're more mature as humanity and know that this change will impact people. So we're trying to see how can we reskill and upskill those people to really not miss what's going to happen in the future.
No, it's really interesting you say that because, when you reflect back, like you said, we've been through similar stories, and we've come out okay.
I think the only change is the pace of change.
Oh, right.
That
tell us about that, more about that.
It's growing rapidly. If you've seen how AI have developed in the past 3 years, AI has been there since the 70s or maybe before, but has been just within companies.
Right.
So everything that you used for the past 7-8 years has been driven by AI. Your shopping in Amazon, your Netflix.
That's true.
Recommendations, everything has utilized AI to know what are your preferences. But now, because it's in the hand of the whole humanity, and everybody's feeding it, and it's accessible to everybody, that accelerated the change. I think in the past 2 years, the same change that we've seen in the past 30 years. And that's what is making people afraid.
And and like you said, it's not, or somebody else said, it's not AI that people might be afraid of, it's who is behind AI. And now, like you said, it's accessible to everybody. It's in everybody's hands.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, and the other trends that we're seeing here in the region, a big trend, of course, is nationalization. So getting the Emirati talent within the workplace, getting the Saudi talent within the workplace, Kuwait. So that's a big trend that is happening in the region. And the governments are putting a lot of efforts and support to get this done. It's not just the quotas that they are putting in place, but they are developing the talent. And one of the things that we are supporting as CIPD, we're supporting here the UAE national to upskill the capability of their HR talent for nationals through a program called 𝗧RA with the central bank and the Emirates Institute of Finance. That's based on building the Emirati talent here. We're doing similar things in Saudi and Kuwait to support this movement. And it's part of the diversity and inclusion. And that gets me to the third part that we're seeing here in the region. It has been really great here in the UAE, but now we're seeing Saudi and Kuwait and Qatar really taking diversity and inclusion to another level, really talking about it, saying that a company needs to be diverse as the people they are serving. It's not a nice to have, it's really an important thing to have.
Oh, right. It's not a privilege, it's a necessity.
It's not a privilege, it's a necessity for their business performance and for their growth.
Can you tell us a bit more, like maybe some listeners are not actually sure what that actually means, diversity and inclusion. Can you tell us what is your definition?
Yeah, sure. So diversity is around getting people that represents the community. So the community has men, women, different ages, different generation, different races, different places in life. So that's what we call diversity. A diverse team, accepting everyone, getting everyone included. And the importance of that is that everyone has a different way of thinking.
Yes.
So if you're losing diversity and hiring maybe not hiring from one category or hiring people, if you don't have a diverse team, then you're losing a part of the decision-making process.
Just one perspective.
It's one perspective, exactly. So you're seeing different perspectives, different ideas, and this is where innovation flourishes. And a second thing is inclusion, is actually how to make this environment a safe environment for people to speak up.
Brilliant, about the voice again.
Yes, to hear their voice. Is how to make it safe, how to make it psychologically safe.
Yes.
Because it can be safe, we're in a safe place here, but I'm not really able to speak my mind. I may feel like if I told my idea, people will laugh at me. That's not being psychologically safe.
Yeah.
This is a big part around inclusion, so including everyone to have a voice and to can contribute to the conversation. Even people who are maybe introverts or don't like to speak out loud, you need to give them a chance to include them. So that's around inclusion.
Yeah, no, I think that's so important. No, thank you for sharing all of that. What was I going to say? I've just lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah, no, you mentioned emotional resilience. That's one thing that AI can't do. Can you tell us about, how important emotional resilience is?
Okay, there's two things that are important: emotional resilience and emotional intelligence. Actually,
intelligence is what you said.
But both are really important because emotional resilience is something that we're seeing less and less in Gen Z. They're getting frustrated really quickly with the workplace. Yes, we know that we need to change, and there's a lot of change that is coming, and we need to have more inclusive. We need to take care more of the environment. We need to be more sustainable. We need to change the way we work because it's a new generation. They're coming with different ideas, but it's the emotional resilience that they need to have because change takes time, and we're changing human behavior, and that always takes time. So I think if I have one advice to Gen Z is being emotionally resilient and know that with time passing, change will happen rather than quitting or getting frustrated or just acting out in the workplace. Going to emotional intelligence, that's how we humans should be interacting. And AI can't do that. AI will give you the best message, but it's not customized based on your feelings. So if I'm sitting here in front of you, let's say I'm sad, he wouldn't know. He wouldn't come to ask me about my feelings and how I'm feeling. Or even if he didn't ask, he wouldn't know that he looks sad. There's something behind his words. This is not coming from a happy place. Or he looks angry, or he may be frustrated. He doesn't have the range of emotions or the range of understanding the emotion.
Yes.
And that's really crucial when dealing with human beings. So that's why the coming roles that will be in demand is people with high emotional intelligence and can understand the human being, so they can tell the technology what to do in order to cater for that human being.
Well, and like you said, human connection, relationships, building relationships, it's all about, it's so important, isn't it? But how, when you mention emotional resilience and emotional intelligence and being able to understand the other person, know how they're feeling, and, have that effective communication, how much is too much? Because, it's very important to feel psychologically safe in the workplace, but how much is too much? Too much sharing, too much talking about feelings. Do you think there's a limit, or do you think just be human and express yourself?
No, I think you should be professional. You should bring your whole self in a professional way.
Yes.
And I think that's what we're missing sometimes in the workplace right now.
Right.
People took their being human and emotional to a level that is not professional. So there's no problem of you coming professionally. I'm just saying you because you're the
exactly.
person in front of me.
Yeah.
There's no problem of you coming and telling me something in a very professional way, but I understand that emotionally you're passing through a hard thing. I don't have to mention it, but I have to be considerate in how I'm reacting to the way you're coming. So it's about understanding that and giving that space also. There is no problem. Sometimes there's a lot of work that needs to be done, and there's no time to ask about people's emotions, but it's actually taking these emotions and making sure that the message is related right to that person in that emotional state is really important. So it's not about going and sharing everything in the workplace, but it's understanding that we are human and we may come and make mistakes, and it's okay, it's all right. It may take more time to process things because we're not in the top performing state.
Yes.
We don't have a benchmark for Monday. You will be operating at 100%. Tuesday we expect you to operate at 80. No, you operate based on your whole self, and that comes to a really big point that is now a very strategic imperative within HR, which is well-being and mental health.
Oh, brilliant! Yeah.
It's not now a case of nice to have a mental health and well-being practice. It's very important. I have to say, in a business world, because I'm coming from a business background, we need to measure the impact. And now the case is that 60% of absence is coming from mental health and stress-related issues. And that is costing, I think, the UK alone around £30 billion. So it's not a nice to have. It's actually affecting the economy, affecting the productivity, and it needs to be a strategic direction for the organization to have well-being as part of what they do. And it's not the nice to have things like I'll give you a gym or we're going to do yoga. That needs to be a strategy that goes through everything, and mainly how leaders react.
Exactly.
And line managers.
I completely agree with you. And I think also, you can't, some people don't have these tools and techniques, do they, to look after their own well-being or have the emotional intelligence. Sometimes you have to take part in training. We're not just born with, okay, I know what to do. I know how to create healthy boundaries. I know how to have effective communication. There's skills that we need to learn. Do you agree?
Yeah, definitely. So, this is a big part what we're supporting organizations to do. So it's actually also training the managers to pick up on the signs and how they should be dealing. So is a big part around people skills for line managers, because we usually promote people based on their merits and how technical they are and how really good in their past job they were doing, and give them a lot of people to manage without any training. They have done the job great. They're going to really manage those people. And that's not really the case, because they haven't managed people before. They haven't managed emotions before. They think that their way is the best way. And all of that needs to love education. And that's why CIPD in the late years started to go beyond HR to really support the line managers. Because people don't quit bad companies, they quit bad bosses.
Totally.
That's a reality. And there's simple things that you need to do. You need to check in with your people. You need to, actually before, let's say there's an example. Someone is not performing. What is the first thing that you say to them?
I would say, are you okay?
Okay, that's great, but that's not the norm.
Oh yeah, it's not the norm.
The norm is, what happened? Where is the numbers?
Yeah.
Why are you not performing? And it's not coming from a bad place,
No,
because these people don't know. But first thing, are you okay? What's happening? Is your personal life fine? I'm feeling like, do you need more support? This is the goals we have actually agreed that we will achieve, how we can achieve it. That's how a manager should be talking to people, not why the numbers are not there, or this is what I need from you. It's not just that the conversation would be that way, because some people needs to be performance managed, but that shouldn't be the first part of your conversation. You need to feel that this is a human being you're talking to, not a machine.
Totally, and I guess if they don't have that self-awareness, if the manager doesn't have the self-awareness and they're not like that with themselves, then it's going to be even harder for them to see it in somebody else, isn't it?
Yeah.
So again, it all comes back to working on yourself and investing in yourself, which brings me to the next point. I want to say, I was so happy to find out that you're also a coactive coach, and you mentioned that it changed your life. Yeah. Do you want to tell us a bit about that and how you can bring your skills from that into your workplace?
Yeah, definitely. It changed my perspective. So one of the things that I was telling you in the beginning is I love to do things that have impact on people's life. Yeah. But putting that in purpose, so what is my purpose, and defining that purpose really helped me every day. Even if the job that I'm doing is not doing that purpose for me, I'm going to deliver my purpose through the work that I'm doing with my team or with my peers or with the people. So that made me much more fulfilled. So basically, to be honest, it made me learn what makes me fulfilled and what doesn't.
Wow, that's so important to know.
What values do I hold high, and I really need to honor them, and what values, okay, it's fine if somebody stepped on it, I'm not going to be really bothered, but these values, please don't touch, because that's in my core. And then a big thing was around, how do I process my emotions?
Oh, really?
That was
in process.
Yeah. That was a really open view, and how can I help people to process their emotions? Because, we usually have it was my first time to, and I read a lot, but it was my first time to know it's like a range of 64 emotions. It's not just the 3 happy, sad, mad that we're alternating. And
each 64? I didn't realize it's 64.
Yeah. So, and there has a lot of spectrum in it. So that really helped me to identify. And once you identify and can name the emotion, you can start dealing with it.
Yes.
Rather than, because I'm here from the Middle East, born and bred in Egypt. And we weren't told how to manage our emotions.
In England.
Toughen up and go do the job. But you're not going to perform the job if you're emotionally not sound and safe.
Yes, totally.
And it's all inside you, so you don't need the circumstances around you to change. It's around changing. It's around knowing your emotions and changing sometimes your perspective. And that gets me to balance, where it's how to balance your life, and you have a choice.
It's always a choice.
There's always a choice. And that's also sometimes we just don't see the choice. We feel like this is the only choice we have. That's a myth. You always have a choice. So that was the main things I went out. And that changed the way I'm interacting with people, the way I'm reading people.
And you're showing them.
Made me a much better person. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you're modeling a different example, possibly.
Definitely.
Because I guess when you're more in tune with your emotions, then again, you're more in tune with other people's emotions. No, it's absolutely fascinating. So what are the key skills do you think are necessary for now and the future?
I think a big skill that I think a lot of people have been hammering on, but still not there, is long life learning. Is that?
Yes, tell us about that.
Learning does not stop at your bachelor or your master's, or that you read an article. It's a lifelong, and you need to be acquiring learning every step of your journey. Because if you stop learning, you stop developing, you're not at the same space. You're actually going backwards.
That's true.
The world is going so fast, and it's changing. So we need to embed in our children lifelong learning, because that's the only big skill that they would need, is how to learn, how to acquire
I love that.
information.
That's so true. Yeah.
And how to reflect also on this information, how they can implement it on their lives and other lives. As something that we are advocating in CIPD, and I believe that most of the learning organizations are advocating for. And the second is around the emotional intelligence, which is empathy. How to be empathetic, because that's a skill. We are born as kids empathetic, but growing through life, I think we lose sight of that skill, and we lose sight to treat each other with empathy and to understand where this person is coming from. So empathy would be one of the main skills that people are going to look for in the future. And
having self-empathy.
Yeah, we don't do that. That's really important, because as we always say, treat yourself as you're going to treat your best friend. Because if your best friend messed up, you're going to just embrace him and say, it's going to be okay.
It's okay.
If you messed up, you're going to be staying for 3-4 nights just pushing yourself or...
beating yourself up.
Yeah, beating yourself up. So it's about how you treat yourself.
Oh, brilliant. No, thank you so much, George, for sharing all of this. Is there anything else you want to mention that we haven't touched on today?
I think the only thing I would like to mention is that HR right now is not a nice to have.
Okay.
It's a really important thing, and taking care of our employees, it's a strategic thing that have a business impact, that people need to realize that. And that within CIPD, our role is to grow this profession and make it as professional as possible. I want to end this with a small story.
Oh, please do.
That people don't get it, but it's a fictional story. So imagine that you're going into a hospital. You're having an operation, not a major operation, but an operation, and you're getting in one of the hospitals in the UK or here. You're a bit afraid because you're going under anesthesia. It's an operation at the end. You're in the corridor walking, it's a bit cold,
right?
Going on the trailer, getting in the operation room. You have a lovely nurse that comes, she's very happy. But then while she's prepping you and starting, said like, you have Dr. blah blah, whoever the name of the doctor. He's really a good doctor. Although he's not certified, his certified doctor has done this for 1,000 times. What would be your reaction?
If she said he's done it 1,000 times, I'd be like, okay.
Would you stay in the operation room for
if it's true,
non-professional?
If he's done it 1,000 times, he's got the experience. I think you can't beat experience.
With the doctor?
Yeah, but he's done it 1,000 times.
Is
that the wrong answer?
No. You are really a daredevil.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Would you have an unlicensed doctor operate on you?
Well, I don't know. It's a difficult one because you said he's done it 1,000 times. I don't know. So
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't,
I personally
really?
wouldn't.
Okay.
personally, I wouldn't. Because
is there a choice? Is there somebody else there? Or is that
there's a choice to leave, actually. I'll go a different hospital. But that's true. That's what we're doing. And okay, if it's a heart surgery, would you do it? 1,000 times.
I mean, is it life or death situation?
Yeah.
Like if I don't do it, I'm going to...
No. It's a heart surgery. It can be postponed. It can be done. If it's a life or death situation, you would do it. That's definitely...
I mean, of course, I'd rather have somebody who's licensed.
Okay.
But if they're licensed and they haven't had any experience...
That's another point. But the beautiful thing is licensed with experience.
Oh, right, yeah.
Or at least licensed, because he would have done that at least in his university studies and know how to do it.
Licensed with 1,000 times.
Yeah. That would be the right choice.
Yeah, that would be.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's just what we're telling people is that people are the heart of the organization.
Okay.
If you're not going to get an unlicensed doctor to operate on you,
I see.
why are you getting people who don't have a professional license to practice, to operate on the people that you're having in the organization?
Yeah, if you haven't got the right training and everything.
HR is a profession and people need to take it as serious as that, because we have a lot of people with experience, which is fine, but there's a lot of people that are entering the profession that are from accounting background, engineering background, pharmaceutical background.
Right, I see what you mean.
So for me to get into CIPD and to work with CIPD, I had to go I was doing my coaching already, so that was part that is accredited by an accreditation body and matches the CIPD. I'm also doing a master's in HR, so I'm not really... I am a professional that is giving a professional opinion, not someone who just like people or is good with people, because there's a lot of practice.
Okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah. No, thank you, George. One more thing. Can you tell us a word that sums up your message for today?
A word that can sum my message. I talked a lot, but okay. I think the word is empathy.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Empathy.
If it's one word, is empathy.
Empathy. Thank you so much, George. It's an absolute pleasure.
Thank you, Jasmine.
Thank
you. It's been lovely.
Yes, thank you.